public affairs segment, giving the masses a grasp of informative, educative, and entertaining updates on current issues while guiding them to follow the latest development in the society. Beam TV, a broader perspective.
You're welcome to Public Affairs segment on Beam TV. It's no more news that the outbreak of pandemic COVID-19 has affected so many things in the world today. It is not limited to any location, any sector. It's affecting everybody. It's affecting every sector. So we are on assessment on the impact of COVID-19 everywhere, in the education sector, the political sector, the financial sector. But today, we want to assess the impact of COVID-19 on community, on the people, in the grassroots level. We are here with the executive chairman of its local government area here in Akwa Ibom State to assess what is it doing so that people can get their lives back after this pandemic. Because after this, we still need to continue our normal lives. Are people prepared to get back their lives, or is this pandemic going to weigh people down? We have a guest today, the executive chairman of its local government area, Barr Etetim Onuk. Welcome, chairman, to the program.
Yeah, welcome, BT. Yeah, welcome.
All right, we are assessing the impact of COVID-19 today on the community. But before we go into the impact, how has the pandemic been managed in the grassroots level?
Well, thank you very much. This is one situation that nobody ever prepared for it. It's one situation that has shaken the whole world. In fact, has crippled the whole global system. So, but in strict adherence to government directives and orders, we were able to take the message back to our communities, our rural people, and to a very far extent, I can say confidently that they have abided by the directives, the guidelines, the advice that we gave, especially when it concerns the personal hygiene, observance of personal hygiene, because then other acts that they have to comply with, like, social distancing, washing of hands, use of sanitizers where available. Where there is no sanitizer, then they use the common habit of regular washing of hands. Okay. So to a very far extent, I want to say that the people have heeded the advice and the campaign has really worked at the rural area.
All right, when something like this happens, whether people get in contact with the people affected or just the information that is being passed across to them to be careful, there's this fear, there's this panic within community, especially if the information is not passed to them appropriately. So how will you assess people's response towards this pandemic?
Well, naturally, that has been our fear, and also that has been some fear within the government circle, this problem of stigmatization. And, what has also helped to, douse the fear within our community is that this is our farming season. So most people take to farming as their daily habit. So the fear is not much felt because more of the time they are in their farms. But like I said earlier, stigmatization is a very serious problem occasioned by the COVID-19 pandemic. But as much as possible, I believe that people have started, coming to terms with the reality that this is one problem that is on ground, and they owe themselves a duty to go out and be tested, or if there's any sign or symptom of the virus, they have to reach out to the appropriate quarters for remedy.
During the lockdown, a lot of businesses were on hold. People were not able to go out to do one or two things, especially those people that are surviving on daily income. They were restricted not to go out again. And after the lockdown, people will need to get their lives back, and there can be a serious challenge there, because the people that were locked down might have finished their capital that they used in business. So what are your plans to make sure that people get their lives back after this?
Thank you very much for this question because it's one area that has given me very deep concern. I also even want to thank His Excellency. I think he has put a standard, a template, a classical case when he constituted the economic post-COVID-19 Economic Recovery Committee. We are considering a similar body or committee in each local government. I've started talking to very illustrious sons and daughters. I've shared this vision with them. You know that woman that used to fry groundnut and sell on the street of Uyo, because of the lockdown period. For that period, she must have exhausted whatever would have been her income and the interest she made in that little business. So for now, if you tell her to go back to that business, she'll find it extremely difficult because there's nothing to start off with. So as a council, we are thinking along that line. How do you mean? We want to set up a committee and give them a responsibility to manage whatsoever funds, not only from the local government council, other people who have also indicated interest to contribute to that funds. The essence of it is that we contribute to that funds is devoid of any form of partisan consideration. We want to target our people. You know, one unique thing about COVID-19 pandemic is such that it doesn't know whether which party we are talking about. It doesn't know the rich, doesn't know the poor, doesn't know PDP, doesn't know APC or what have you. So we are targeting our people, those that had, you know, something to do, peasant traders, welders, those people that were in one form of business endeavor who, because of the COVID-19 lockdown period, they must have exhausted all the money that they had. So we want to say we can encourage them to go back to their business. Those kind of people, you give them 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, even 100,000 naira. They will go a long way getting them back, you know, on their businesses. So we are setting up a committee. Even from now, we have consulted very widely to ensure that we carry it to people along, those within the country and those in diaspora. Like I said, the response so far has been so encouraging, which means that people are concerned about the fate of people, especially those in the rural areas.
Okay, all right. There's a relaxed in the lockdown, which the government said work can start the limited number of persons. Now, as the executive chairman of the local government council, how are you relating with your staff? The ones that should work and the ones that are at home?
Well, we've been given guidelines on who should resume duty, say those on level 14 and above, and one staff per each department. So we are working on that. That has been our guiding focus. We've also made provision for all the essential things that we need to use, like the sanitizers, like the face mask, so that we adhere strictly to those personal hygiene directives. Like I said earlier, or even if I didn't say it, even at the risk of repetition, these measures government has advised us to take ab initio are for our own good, which is one campaign we have to carry out afresh. Because some people feel that strict adherence to these directives are maybe you are doing government one favor or the other. No, they are for our own personal good. They are just to ensure that we stay alive and we stay safe throughout this period. And that's why I encourage our people, especially those who are returning to work, to ensure strict observance of these directives for the good of all of us and for their own good.
Okay, work partially have resumed.
Sure.
And then there are certain measures you need to put in place that you've mentioned. What are those enforcement you are putting in place to make sure that people comply to these directives?
We ensure that we have the security department here, and we ensure that whoever is not ready to adhere to those instructions, should not be allowed to come in. And I have instructed the head of service, the director of admin, to ensure that every staff who comes to work do or comply strictly with those directives. And another thing is that, let me also add, as a plus to our staff, we don't have, I can't say any staff that will be stubborn to the extent of not, wanting to adhere to those instructions.
A lot of people died before the lockdown, and people are still dying, not because of
COVID-19. Yes.
They are still dying, and very soon the mortuary might be filled. And also on the other side, the people owning these corpses, you are piling up debt for them because they need to pay for the corpses on a daily basis. Are we on a safer side by putting all these things?
Well, I would say yes, we are. Like I said, no, even the government itself is not happy that these orders are being meted out. It's like saying it is a necessary evil. It's one sacrifice we all have to endure for the sake of our tomorrow. It is true that people are dying every day. It is true that we just pray that we will not get to the point that all our mortuaries are filled up. But the essence of it, the essence of it is that it's a sacrifice. It's a necessary pain that we have to go through. It's a necessary inconveniences we have to go through to secure our tomorrow. What will it benefit us if people are allowed to go about their normal businesses, burial parties, weddings? At the end of the day, we have a total collapse of our health system.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, finally, what's your advice to people so that your advice should be targeted to getting life back,
Yes.
to return to normalcy? What are those things that you wish people should do, the government should do, so that life can return to normalcy?
Well, my first advice is that people should obey and adhere themselves strictly to the advice and regulations, to whatever measure government has put in place towards stopping the spread of this pandemic. As like I said earlier, we've also carried out a campaign, and this campaign is yielding fruits. So we want our people to ensure that they exhibit a very high degree of personal hygiene, and as much as possible ensure that they comply with this social distancing. But here, I can also say that we still have some problems. This morning I was at the Etetim market. What I saw there was appalling. I felt terrible because despite all the campaigns that we have carried out, despite all the campaign the government at the state, the federal level have carried out, we still see some of our people remaining adamant, especially as it concerns the social distancing. We've tried to preach this gospel that this thing is for their own good. I mean, for emphasis purposes, I have to reiterate it. Compliance with these directives, this advice are for our own good. It is for our own good. The much we do it, the much we do ourselves that good of staying alive, of staying safe. Go back to your place, go back to your house, observe these directives. It will help us, it will help stop the spread.
Okay. All right, thank you very much, the Executive Chairman of the Local Government Area, Barrister Etetim Onuk.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you, and I believe that you're
here.
going to help the grassroots people to get their lives back.
By the grace of God, we are doing that.
The efforts you've put so far to make sure that you collaborate with good-spirited individuals to make sure that you reach out to the people to get their lives back. Keep doing the good work. As the size of our package, and thank you so much. From your own end, what are you doing so that you can also complement government effort in a bid to curb the spread of COVID-19? Do well to send in your comments, send in your contribution. What should we do after this lockdown to make sure that we return back to the life of normalcy? I'm still at your friend, Blessing Ambrose. Thank you for being with us today.
Beam TV, a broader perspective.